Hi, this is Shadi and today we will discuss the Uchimata. Now, I've done a lot of Uchimata analysis in the past. Kosei Inoue, Joshiro Maruyama and Shohei Ono. I've talked about Kosei Inoue's 4 types of Uchimata. I've talked about the entries, the several entries, but all these 3, they share this very monumental picturesque Uchimata. Travis Stevens tried to do an analysis. Decoding Judo recently did one as well, a brilliant one. So I've been researching to see the little bit of details, and I finally stumbled upon the one detail that actually makes it this great Uchimata and why it is categorized as Ashiwaza rather than Koshiwaza. So it's a detail that, in my opinion, changes everything once we understand it, because it is simply a matter of angle, it is simply a matter of entry that makes it a great Uchimata. It's an entry that, in my opinion, has its flaws, but once you understand it, it makes Uchimata rather perfect, and the stuff that Kano sensei has implemented still lives on till this day, and we're gonna see why. So what really piqued my interest is this video by Hanpan TV. They were talking about entering from 90 degrees, not turning your back all the way at 180. Here you see the examples. Oh no, you have his back towards us, not towards the ceiling. So the finish rather should be when you turn the extra 90 degrees, because this is where you plant, and this is what Neil Adams said.
For different reasons. Maruyama, the new Japanese on the scene, and he does this amazing movement into the Uchimata, and he really jacks his opponents up, but doesn't quite have control with the hands. On the other side of that, in the under 81 kilograms, Guerrero, he has the same kind of movement in, but he absolutely has amazing control with the hands. The hands and the feet and the body all working together. Let's have a look at the 2 examples and see how they both work.
So Neil Adams criticized Maruyama for this Uchimata because he didn't have a finish. The finish is actually should be the rotation of the extra 90 degrees. Here you see 90 degrees. If he rotated like towards the ground and planted his hand firmly, he would have gotten the Ippon rather than a Yuko. So let's see other examples. Here you see in I think this is Osaka. Yes, he enters at 90 degrees. You see his back is turned towards us rather than the ceiling. So this is the entry, and once you enter at 90 degrees you actually lift with your leg rather than your hip. Let's see, look, it's 90 degrees 100%, finished with Tomoe Nage, the greatest combo of modern judo. So the key detail is to enter at 90 degrees. In Hanpan TV, they actually explain that you actually bring him towards you. There's no need for like a big kuzushi. And then once you like go down 90 degrees, like you take your upper body down or your head almost touching, that's where like it becomes very easy to lift uke, and with the help of your leg it becomes almost effortless. That's why Neil Adams criticized Maruyama, because there was no kuzushi and there was no finish. It was just a big lift, as he said, and this is coming from the contact of the upper body and the lift of the leg, but there's no kuzushi or like there's no finish with the hands, only rotation of 90 degrees. Here, Ono, if he does the same thing, he would have gotten a far better finish. Let's see a great example. Inoue actually turns 90 degrees, but turns the rest of the 90 degrees to 180 degree in order to plant Nicholas Gill and have a perfect Ippon. Look, 90 degrees, rotates the other in order to plant him for Ippon. So his finish is actually the best out of all the 3. That's why he's the boss, and that's why he is the greatest. So is this some revolutionary detail that's been added in the recent years? No, this is actually from the early days of the Kodokan. You see, in Nage no Kata, the Uchimata, you actually turn uke in a way that he's next to you. Here you see, you are turning him in a way to square him off, to become perpendicular, and as he's coming forward, you reap the thigh. You don't lift with your hips, because here they explain that if you lift with your hips, it becomes hanegoshi. So hanegoshi is not just the leg placed on the uke's calf or on uke's knee, but rather it's the lift with the hips and guiding with the legs. So you have to actually lift here. He explained here that it's not a lift with the hips, it's actually, it becomes hanegoshi. So you just square him perpendicular and just reap the inner thigh, hence it's ashiwaza. So when you lift like Maruyama or Ono, it's actually lifting with the side of the thigh rather than the hips, hence why it's ashiwaza and not koshiwaza. Let's see an example of koshiwaza, and that is harai goshi. Harai goshi, you turn 180 degrees. Check this out, and thus you are lifting with your hips, not with the side of your thigh like uchimata, and thus it's a koshiwaza. If you like do your leg between uke's legs but lifting like harai goshi, it's actually a koshiwaza, and in my opinion this is hanegoshi and not uchimata. So I don't know why in a lot of these demonstrations people do hanegoshi and say it's uchimata, even the Japanese. I know that they know the difference, but it's mind-boggling that they do that, and I'll show you an example later. So but the Kodokan actually shows the difference in their new videos, which I will of course show as well. But here you see that the difference, like turning 90 degrees, you are actually lifting with your leg like uchimata, but when you turn 180, it becomes a koshiwaza. So Kano sensei implemented everything. Here you see like it says uchimata and does hanegoshi, like lifts with the legs, with the hips 180 degrees. I don't know why they do that. This is Kodokan hanegoshi. So here you see turning 180 degree, very similar to Ryunsuke Haga, and then doing the leg the same thing. So I don't know why they say it's uchimata and they do hanegoshi. Can someone please give me an answer? I'll probably reach out to Shintaro Higashi, he'll probably give me an answer, but this is mind-boggling that they actually, why is this a thing? Let's see, this is Kodokan uchimata. He goes to the side and lifts with the side of his upper thigh. Check this out closely. It's not the hips. You can see like the belt is completely outside. We can see it. So this is not a koshiwaza. This is an ashiwaza. So that 90 degree where you are perpendicular to uke is a crucial detail for uchimata. You can have that incredible lift, but the key thing to remember is that you need to turn once uke is lifted, you need to turn that extra 90 degrees where your back becomes facing the ceiling, and thus you can have a better finish, like in a way. So you saw Ono struggling with the finish, you saw Maruyama struggling with the finish, but in a way he planted Nicholas Gill rather masterfully because of that extra rotational turn towards the end once Nicholas Gill was lifted. So this thing that, you know, they do hanegoshi and they say uchimata is just, it really like piques my curiosity for some reason. Like, why is this a thing? I know they know the difference. It's not like I'm saying I know better, of course not, but even the Kodokan, you saw the difference between the hanegoshi, which they do in the demonstrations, and they say it's uchimata, but it's rather hanegoshi. They did it and they named it hanegoshi, and then you saw the uchimata, he's lifting with this thigh, the side of the thigh, which is actually pretty thick if you have muscular legs, so it lifts rather easily, kind of like the hips, but people think that they lifted with the hips when they actually rotated 90 degrees and lifted with the side of the thigh. So as you saw with the pictures, like Teddy Rene and Ono, like you saw Maruyama lifting Abe, trying to lift Abe before that Tomonage, he had his back towards the side rather than towards the ceiling. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. This is a very intriguing topic, the uchimata. It's so amazing how Kano set it up in Nage no Kata in order to understand that you have to enter perpendicularly. The man was absolutely a genius. So If you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Also, don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop for t-shirts and also historical articles on his website. I'll leave it in the description down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. This was Shadi, and thank you for listening.